What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here, thanks for stopping by. In today's video we are on the test server here today, so thank you Plarium for allowing us access to this, and we will be going over the event dungeon. I came up with a team. It's relatively free to play in terms of champion assessment. The gear is obviously going to be still pretty good. We're talking dungeon level 30 here, and it's going to be 100% farm, which is awesome. And I've tested it relatively extensively, and I will show you guys exactly what works, what doesn't work, what I found out, and what needs to be done. And as for alternatives, if you guys don't have the exact team, although like I said, the team is relatively free to play in terms of champion assessment. So let's jump right into it, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So we're gonna go into battles. There is the event dungeon here. It is live for 9 weeks, as indicated here. You can select the Odin head. We're going to go into it. It's up to 30 stages this time, not 25 like normal dungeons, up to 30 this time. In terms of relative difficulty, stage 30 on this dungeon feels roughly the same as Shogun and roughly the same as Sand Devil. Let's talk about the gear and what can drop from this dungeon first. So first, you actually get 6 sets of gear from this dungeon. You also get accessories as well. The accessories, Plarium has confirmed, will always be pinpoint accessories. So pinpoint is the brand new set here. Is the 9-piece set exclusive to this event. So far, it's probably going to show up, my guess, in future Forge passes probably. It's such a good set. I'm sure they're going to make tons of money off of this set. And they'll find ways to monetize it. But we got 6 sets here that this dungeon can drop. No different than any other dungeon. It's actually less than what other dungeons have, because other dungeons, I believe, have 9 sets, I believe. But yeah, you can drop the rings, amulet, and banner here, and they're all going to be pinpoint if you get them. In terms of drop rates and stuff, we don't know that yet. You can kind of see here the 5 and 6 star gear starts at level 20. So it's a pretty big spread, right? Going from stage 20 to stage 30. You can still gain access to 5 and 6 star gear. But like I said, this team that I'm going to show you guys, it's a stage 30 team. It's a full auto farm team. It was, I had it running for a while. It ran perfectly good, 100%. And yeah, I'll show you guys the team right now. So I'm going to jump into it, and this is the team. Yes, it has Seer. Seer is the only champion in this team that you cannot get in other ways. Currently, if you're playing the game, you would have gotten Ninja, unless you are literally a brand new player, in which case stage 30 is not for you at all. So that's totally out of the conversation. But if you've been playing the game for at least a month or 2, you would have Ninja if you logged in and got him. Of course, if you've been playing the past couple of years, you will have Ninja as well. Ninja can be replaced. His main role here is strictly for DPS, strictly for damage. He can be any damage dealer here, and it'll be working out very well. He brings the HP burn with the activation, so it's quite a bit of damage right away. He also has the access to Brimstone, which is very, very strong damage to Odin. After that, the second damage dealer here is Seer. Seer's role is actually very, very important. He can straight up kill the ads. The ads give you a lot of problems. They mitigate damage for Odin, so like Ursuga here. Valkyrie is a big problem here because of her passive, which pushes back turn meter and also increases turn meter. Her counterattack is also a huge problem as well. Turbo smacks super hard, and then you got this faction ally champion here, which does all sorts of nonsense. A1 provoke, has decreased duration of enemy buffs, increased duration of ally buffs, has a shield here, increase attack and increase accuracy. Increase attack on Odin basically will allow him to just like destroy your team. And then also this faction ally stuff. And he's, basically, I don't know if this applies, but because it may be, the Odin, the boss with the ads might not apply here. But if any of this applies, it's incredibly ridiculous. So this faction ally champion is a big pain in the butt. But yeah, so basically Seer's job here is basically to kill the ads right away. And if she dies or is held down, Ninja could theoretically kill Odin faster than Seer. Also, if both DPS are down, theoretically Mithrala could kill Odin by herself because of Brimstone and poisons. So Odin doesn't have obviously protection from the similar to Hydra, for example. He doesn't have protection against like poison or HP burn like that, so he's going to be taking full damage from those. This is the champion. This isn't necessarily the boss. So the boss guide is here. We can go over this real quick. What we need to do to basically stop Odin So his A1 has a Berserk. It's not 100% chance to land, so that's a good thing. Berserk basically means the champion with this debuff takes 50% more damage. So it's basically going to die if he gets hit. But Berserk also grants the champion increased damage as well, 50% more damage. So it's a good thing if it lands on a good damage dealer. It's a really bad thing if it lands on a support. His A2, super annoying, removes all buffs from all enemies, and then places decreased defense and stun. If Odin hits you with his A3 against decreased defense, basically anything would basically just drop. The stuns are super annoying. His A2 hit, his A3 single target hit. First it's a steal, first it's a buff steal, and then it's a big slam. Ignore 100% of the target's defense. If it's killed, it revives somebody. So this team's actually really good, really consistent, has ways to mitigate all of his kit. And then lastly, his passive every 9 turns. So it's not 9 turns from him, it's 9 turns from everybody. So if you have a super fast team, you're going to cut through those 9 turns very quickly. Obviously, his adds will add to the turn count as well. He places block damage and then a debuff spread. So obviously, to deal with the block damage, you have to either strip the block damage off, you have to block it with block buffs, or you have to decrease the duration of the block damage buff. It's only a 1-turn buff, so it definitely can be decreased. There's a couple ways to deal with this passive, which is super annoying, but this team has it all to deal with it, and it has backups to try to deal with this. Lastly, the Odin does come with a 6-star lightning cage and 6-star temporal chains blessing. So you can see here he has the lightning cage here, which is, they should show both blessings here, and they shouldn't mention it. They should mention it somewhere. I don't know. But anyways, he does have a 6-star lightning cage and a 6-star temporal chains attached to him. So if we go into, for example, let's go into the blessings here just for a quick refresh on what those things actually mean. So lightning cage here, so basically at 6 stars, he has a 75% chance to protect a random buff from being stolen. So that kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to basically like strip or remove the block damage buff. It makes it inconsistent. That's what it's going to be. His ads don't have this. So the ads will have their buff stripped, no problem. But Odin has a 75% chance of blocking that. So it makes it a little bit more difficult, of course. The lightning cage also provides some extra damage against you. So right here, bonus damage inflicted by each orb. It's based on your max HP. So it's not a huge slam, but it's a little bit of damage. Lastly, he does, like I said, he does have a temporal chains as well. Decrease enemy speed for each active buff you are under, except for the buffs placed at the beginning of the round. So at 6 stars, instantly decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 15% whenever any enemy receives a 3rd active buff. So this is kind of hard to manage. You kind of need buffs to survive. You kind of need buffs to do damage. And you have to kind of make up for this extra 15% turn meter. Obviously, I don't have like a calculator or anything to, fine tune this like perfectly exact. But basically, my advice would be to basically overshoot the speed threshold so that you can kind of compensate for this kind of small turn meter reduction. You also have like other things going on, like enemy decrease speed by 5% for each active buff. So whenever you're putting buffs, try to limit the amount of buffs if possible on your champions. So that's something to consider as well. So the more buffs you have on your team, the more their speed is going to get pushed back. So this means that the already fast Odin with the already fast ads will be even faster relative to your own team. So it's just something to consider here. There's a lot going on. It's kind of hard to speed tune because you have to manage your buffs really, really well and account for the temporal chains blessing. But like I said, my compensation is basically just to overshoot the speeds. And like I said, guys, this is going to be full auto. I'm going to go over the stats and gear and all that stuff right after I show you guys the run. We can talk through the run here, and then I can show you guys how my play testing with this was. So it's full auto. We can slow it down here. So first we start with decreased defense and weaken from Lydia. Obviously the buffs are happening. Valkyrie's getting her passive going on. You can kind of see there, Seer did not kill everybody, but usually if she doesn't kill everybody, there's only maybe like 1 guy left, and that's kind of okay. At this point, when all the ads are gone, we basically have this lockdown. This is going to be a win. It just depends on how fast the run will be. Okay, so at this point, Ninja deals insane amounts of damage against the boss with the Hail Burn skill. And our champions are strong enough that they won't get one shot by Odin, because he won't have like increased attack or anything like that unless he steals it from you. But we have ways of basically mitigating super bad things from happening when he's by himself. So for example, if he steals your buffs, you can have block buffs up, right? You can have block buffs up. You can strip those buffs. You can decrease the duration of those buffs. There's lots of things that kind of just, take away the buffs from him. But he does go through his block damage buff very quickly. You can kind of see here, he has it up very, very quickly. And all that really does is kind of just prolong the run if our skills don't line up. But you can kind of see that we have so many champions that have the ability to strip, decrease duration, or block, that it kind of just consistently works out. Also, you have to factor in like getting resisted, which is a thing too. Again, once we know the exact stats, exact accuracy that we need for this dungeon encounter, we will have a better idea of how to optimize our accuracy for this. Personally, right now, I think 450 accuracy is the minimum you want to bring into this dungeon. So you want to bring in either an accuracy aura, or obviously have your champions fully geared out in proper accuracy to deal with this champion. At least 450. I would say closer to 500. And I would probably think that the player probably tuned him similar to Sand Devil, where you need about 500 accuracy to land your debuffs, about 90-ish% of the time. In terms of resistance, I tried 500-ish resistance and it wasn't working, so I think he probably needs 600 plus resistance. Usually that's how Plarium kind of manages their bosses. If he needs 500 accuracy, he's going to need 600 resistance, for example. So that's kind of my guess. You could definitely build a resistance team, or maybe increase resistance type team, so that you can resist his stuns and strips and all that stuff. So you can kind of see here, this one was a 2 minute and 50 second run, but of course it was running 1x speed. If it was running 2x speed, it would be about a minute and a half. We get our solid 5-star rare gear here, which is totally nonsense, of course. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys what else. Show you guys the runs I had done on this in the background here. Yeah, so I basically ran this team, I think 20 runs or so. Just let it run full auto, see how it does after I made the final configurations to the team. And 100% win rate, guys. And we actually have on video, on footage, actually multiple situations where things could have gone wrong, but this team's so solid, it actually just recovers. So I'm going to have this going on in the background, and we can just talk about it as things are happening. So, like I said, guys, you have to manage how many buffs you have on your team. Otherwise, your speeds are going to get all wacky, right? So as long as Seer can one-shot the waves, you're going to have a good time. It's going to be very consistent, very solid. If she fails, and the only reason she would really fail is if Lydia misses or decreased defense or weaken on one of the ads. Of course, that's going to happen once in a while. As long as she doesn't miss decreased defense and weaken on basically all the ads, if one is left, that's no big deal. Even if there's two left, that's not a big deal, because the damage that they would have taken would have softened them up quite a bit, so that the rest of your damage can actually finish them off. So you can kind of see here, once they're all down, Odin actually goes down fairly easily. Of course, you're going to have to deal with stuns and stuff. And then obviously you have to deal with the block damage, which makes things a little bit, more lengthy, but not too bad. I highly recommend bringing in Brimstone. Brimstone is going to be massive, just massive damage, right? Ninja's HP burn is huge in this situation. Another strategy that actually works against Odin is actually HP burn strategy. So similar to like Spider, where you kind of HP burn the ads, and then he actually just takes pretty good damage that way from HP burn. But that kind of relies on you controlling the waves, and that's actually kind of difficult to do. You can kind of see here we did this in 90 seconds. It's actually a very consistent 1 to 2 minute run. It really depends on how often the lightning cage prevents the removal of buffs. It you know, there's so many factors in RNG that's going to happen. So it's kind of hard to be like exact, especially with a team like this. If you have a team that requires, like, for example, like nut, for example, like if you have 3 of them, you can almost one-shot Odin with like 3 or 4 nuts or whatever. Just because, you know, obviously they deal so much damage and all that stuff. But for this team that kind of just, you know, runs along, there's no real speed tune other than you have to kind of go at a certain in a certain order, right? So Lydia goes first. You notice that Mithril users are A1 because just for this particular speed tune that I'm going to show you guys with this particular team, Lydia cannot use her buffs in the beginning because that's going to push back the turn meter too much, and then the order will be all whacked out, and then yeah, we won't get a turn back fast enough so that Seer can actually kill the waves before the waves act. So that's why I have my Mithrala doing her A1 first. This one's a minute 13, so it's actually even better. Yeah, the whirlwind ability from Arbiter is actually really good in this encounter against Odin because the decreased duration is actually really strong in terms of removing the block damage buff. Since Lightning Cage does block 75% of the removals from, for example, like strips and stuff, the duration is just like an extra piece of insurance to help get rid of it. Yeah, so you can kind of see here, like he hit Ninja with the A3. Sometimes he'll steal the buffs. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, and it's not even a big deal if somebody dies. Like there was a run here that 2 of these guys died, and it's totally fine. The thing is, like with Lydia here, it actually gives you a bit of early insurance. If, for example, something goes really wrong, one of your guys dies early, and then he A3 somebody and revives somebody on his team, Lydia will block the first attempt, right? Lydia will block the first attempt and then revive your champion. So you have one freebie there. And if, for example, your team falls apart again, you have Arbiter, which is a reviver, right? And of course, after that, Lydia's passive will reset itself after, I forgot what the cooldown is. I think 7 turns if fully booked. So the team is actually pretty consistent. And from my testing, like I said, I ran 20 runs, over 20 runs now, but 20 runs on video, and it's, you know, so far 100% success rate. So here we did another 90-second run. I want to get to a video of footage, maybe of a champion, maybe of a run where somebody doesn't die completely. So there, Valkyrie didn't die completely, but she ended up dying to like just miscellaneous damage. Yeah, we'll get to one of the hairier runs and see how it goes here. You can kind of see here I ran this for about 35 minutes, 40 minutes. Just full auto, just letting it run. Really cool, like just seeing it work, and it works really well, guys. Like for me, like I would totally build this team right out of the gate and just run this team, super raids and everything. So far it's worked super good to me, and I like that it has like the kind of extra insurance policies of having all these champions with the you know, different ways to deal with bad situations. So you can see here Odin stole all the buffs from Ninja before doing the A3, but it's okay, right? He has plus attack. He might actually kill somebody here, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We have measures to prevent and help us with that. The max hit against Odin, I think 10% is about 414,000 damage, I think. So Seer's not going to hit the cap too often, but we need her to hit the cap in the beginning. So there's going to be certain things you can do for gearing that definitely helps here. You see there, she's just going to use the Karma Burn. I actually have her prioritize to use Karma Burn because it's actually a strip as well, so I definitely want to have it used as often as possible, even if it's just less damage in the end. You see here, like the block damage came up and we're using Hail Burn into it. It's not a big deal, it just kind of stalls out the run a little bit. You see this one is a minute 50. Sometimes it feels like Odin is going way faster than 9 turns. That's how I feel, but I'm not too sure. It feels that way. There you go, down he goes. But yeah, I'll show you guys I think there is a run near the end where things went really wrong. But here, no, Valkyrie survives once in a while. She survives once in a while after the karma burn, but it's okay. Okay, Turbo surviving is not a big deal. He's actually really soft, so he'll go down pretty quickly. Okay, so this one. So Ninja dies early here. Ninja dies early. But it's totally fine. Ninja's just here for damage, right? So this run will be a little bit slower. Just here for damage. Odin can't really revive anybody because we have Lydia's passive basically as an insurance policy. Until Arbiter gets her revive back, brings up Ninja, and then the run basically goes back to being smooth. As long as the ads die early, there's no issues at all. Very, very, very consistent run. I fear without Seer, though, this team can't work. Seer just provides that amount of power to kill off the ads. I think it's possible maybe somebody like Calvalax plus Teox maybe can do it. Maybe Teox does enough damage to rival Seer. Maybe a Poison Exploding team could do it as well. But basically, if you kill the ads, Odin by himself shouldn't be able to wipe out your team. If you have obviously proper measures against him. Mithril is super important here. Obviously, the cleanse is very, very good. You notice that she doesn't get stunned or CC'd, so then she comes in with the cleanse, saves the team. Of course, 3% can happen, but it's not the end of the world, even if she gets stunned or anything like that. Let me try to find another run here where things kind of went wrong. Oh, I guess that's about it. So we had one run where Ninja kind of fell apart early. But you can kind of see here, like, very, very consistent runs. I turned it off after 20. We did 20 successful runs here, just to show you guys the loot that comes out of it. So like I said, on the test server here, the accessories are showing as normal accessories, but in live server, it's going to be all pinpoint. So I don't know if it's going to be all pinpoint. So if you count the accessories here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accessories out of 20. I don't know if all 6 are going to be, going to be pinpoint or if they're going to change the rates. Maybe they're going to change the rates. In which case, 20 of these runs for 6 accessories, not bad. It's not bad. I think that's not bad. Obviously, there's a lot of factions and all that stuff. In terms of gear, how many pieces we got? 1, 2, 3. We got 3 pinpoint pieces out of 14. Out of 14, we got 3 pinpoint pieces. And then you can kind of see like the quality here is pretty bad. Like we got some rares, you got some 5-star, 5-star blues, you got 6-star blues. Like, it feels kind of normal, right? Like a dungeon 25 or something. It feels kind of normal. Maybe not hard difficulty levels of, but we are getting mythical drops, so it's there. It feels kind of normal. So yeah, perfect 20 for 20 here. It's 100% team, fully free to play, guys. I'm gonna go over the gear and stuff like that with you guys. All right, so here is my Ninja. My Ninja is in basically like an old school like EHP build. It was very popular to build Ninja with just straight EHP without any damage stats. So recently, like, gear has been so insane that people start building him with like 100% crit rate, with like insane crit damage, with ignore defense and all that stuff. Yes, that is great. That helps. That helps clear time, right? It helps you clear the waves if you need it. But if your gear just can't handle it, don't go for the 100% crit rate. Don't go for the high crit damage. Just give him proper speed. Give him proper accuracy and make sure he's tanky enough to at least take a hit or two. You notice that when Odin uses his A3 against my Ninja, only about half his life goes down, so he's not going to just fall over, right? I'll show you guys the total stats here. He has 4k defense, which definitely helps. Only 4k attack, just under 50k HP. He has a 3-star blessing, so it's not crazy, but obviously a 1-star blessing would really, really help. 400 accuracy is what I'm bringing him. So far, that feels okay. I am running Mithral's plus 80 accuracy aura. And like I said, I would say minimum for this dungeon is 450. Minimum. Bring 450 minimum. Probably closer to 500 to make it even smoother. Everything else doesn't really matter. I want his speed close to 450. Like I said, guys, like I don't have a calculator or anything. I'm just showing you guys what worked for me in terms of how much speed I need to bring. Right. I assume Odin is probably around 250 or 275 speed, base speed, and then plus his temporal chain stuff, doing the turn meter and then the speed pushback. I don't know for sure, but obviously make them fast. And having Arbiter here definitely helps, right? Boost our own turn meter and all of that stuff. So fully booked, Brimstone 100% must, just because obviously Brimstone brings tons of damage against Odin. If you have like one cruelty on one of your champions, it's not a bad thing because it softens up Odin a little bit. Masteries, War Master is going to be the best here against Odin. He's a boss. You're going to deal some good damage with the max HP. Life Drinker here for some extra healing. HP burn for extra duration. Chance for decreased defense, landing extra, pretty good. And regen, I definitely recommend, obviously, to keep him alive. You notice that the damage, incoming damage, is actually quite a bit, and then having the regen stuff is probably not enough regeneration. You're not going to heal quick enough, basically, because Odin is so fast. But having a little bit of healing definitely helps. He is in a 4-piece Merciless, which basically just speeds up the run a little bit. The Merciless gives them basically 1 in 3 chance of reducing a cooldown by 1 turn, so I can reduce the cooldown of this move by 1, which gives me more damage overall. So that's going to be my ninja here. Coming up next, Mithrala. Again, these builds don't need to happen. You can put her on regen. Regen might actually be better, but I have her in 6-piece Stone Skin, and this is just the build that I was using for Arena. It's not a great build, but it works. I'll show you guys exactly what works here. It has a counterattack accessories, which help drop poisons and stuff like that. The best thing about Odin is that he doesn't have block debuffs, so you can just debuff him the whole time, even if he has block damage on. So you can still land your block buffs, still land your poison, still land your HP burn and all that stuff. Total stats of Mithrala here: 276 speed, 3.6k defense, 80k HP. If you give her higher HP, her shield becomes better, so that protects your team a little bit. 500 accuracy is perfect, and then obviously enough resistance to resist all of Odin's shenanigans. Have her with Brimstone, very good for some extra damage against the boss, extra, obviously chance to land it. Masteries here, Eagle Eye for some extra accuracy. I went down for the shield boosting, just to keep your team alive. This is like a kind of a PvE-ish mastery set. Usually for PvP, you're gonna go with improved parry for the damage reduction. Yeah, this is more for like PvE stuff. This is a good one against Odin. Obviously, you receive less damage from him and all that stuff. After that, lasting gifts for some extra turns on her shield, strengthen and decrease and increase defense. But like I said, guys, you guys don't need Stone Skin. The revenge accessories are nice. They're gonna give her extra A1 poisons. But yeah, you don't need Stone Skin on her. After that, we have my Arbiter. Just make her fast. She doesn't need to be insanely fast. I took off some gear for her. She's 390 speed. I think my best speed is like 405 or something on this account. No, actually, sorry, it's higher than that. But I took off some speed on her because I wanted her accuracy up. So I got her accuracy up to 373, plus the 80 from Mithrala is about 450. And, it works. It's not a high... I still see her get resisted once in a while, but it's not... it's not that often, but I think 450 is the bare minimum I would bring into this dungeon. Or it doesn't matter for Arbiter. You just bring your whatever Arbiter in, your Arena Arbiter. However, with Timely Intervention, this is basically just standard Reviver Arena Masteries. Yeah, she's just here for fast. Make sure her accuracy is on point so that her Whirlwind ability has the chance to decrease the duration of enemy buffs. Very helpful against the block damage. After that, we have Lydia. Lydia, I have her in a shield set, so it's kind of important because it gives the extra buffs for Seer. My Seer is not insane by my insane like end game standards. She's not insane. I stopped investing in Seer because I didn't want to spend the resources on Seer, and Seer was doing everything I wanted her to do without any more investment, so I didn't want to invest in her anymore. So she doesn't have like 6-star crushing rend or anything like that, so she's not insane. So I did have to put a shield set on Lydia just to give my Seer some extra buffs so that she can kill the waves. Also, if you have these accessories, these blood shield accessories, slap them on to any champion dealing damage before Seer rips all your buffs off to deal her karma burn. It gives an extra small shield, extra small buff. That's separate from the shield set buff here. So I have her in shield set. Make sure she has proper accuracy. She's going to go first, or no, sorry, she goes second after Arbiter. So make sure her speed is aligned there. I like 300 speed. I think 300 speed is decent. But basically, you want these champions between 250 to 300 with the Arbiter boost. I would say that would be a rough guideline. And then make sure her accuracy is good. I tried to put resistance on her in the beginning, but it was just too stat heavy. Like I said, you probably need 600 resistance against Odin. So I just said, forget it. I'm just going to make her, add a little bit more HP. Brimstone on her as well, just to get the extra, obviously chance to land it. These is only 15%, right? And then I have small blessings on them. Fully booked, all these champions, of course. You can't really get away with no books at this stage in the game. War Master for some extra damage. Lasting Gifts for, obviously, increased speed and strengthen. And then Master Hexer for increased duration of her block buffs. Her A2 block buffs really helps here because it's the only real block buffs you have on this. And as soon as you kill all the ads, Odin is the sole target left, and then this move actually becomes pretty good. All right, last but not least, Seer. Seer has to be probably one of the most important champions in this set. Unfortunately, she is the only one that is not freely accessible. She has to be pulled from a shard, unfortunately. So this is my Seer. She's not she's geared good, but she's not insane. Like I said, she's 3-star, not 6-star. Never stopped investing in her. I want her to go after Ninja. So that's kind of important here, the order of things. I want her to go after Ninja. Ninja's going last. Main thing is she karma burns, and then whatever is left, Ninja needs to kind of kill or at least deal damage to it. So I have her with these stats. Like I said, the stats aren't that insane. 286 crit damage, but you do need the accuracy on her if you want her to use her strip. So there is a strip component to her karma burn, which will, obviously help you. It will add an extra layer of security to your team. It's an extra layer of insurance. This doesn't really benefit that much a Blood Shield ring on her, but I mean, since this is going to be a turn battle, having an extra buff on her might actually be useful, again, to power her karma burn afterwards. Yeah, so for her, Crushing Ren is just going to help her kill the first wave. This is only, Crushing Ren's not great for Seer because it only is the first hit per round, and this is just basically one big long round. If you have a 6-star Crushing Ren, that's awesome. Congratulations, you're going to be using it. But here, Crushing Ren's still good because it helps you kill the first wave. Fully booked, of course, for her. Masteries, I have her down to War Master. If you're low on crit damage, you can definitely take Flawless Execution. I think I'm on the cusp of Flawless Execution. War Master is going to help you deal more damage against Odin once she starts doing her A1s and all that stuff. But I didn't really optimize her too much for this encounter. She's just my Dungeon Seer for the most part. But these are kind of, I would say, near minimum stats to deal with the waves relatively consistently. You can kind of see that the Valkyrie doesn't always die. She doesn't always die. So, and that's even with decreased defense. So if you have a much stronger Seer, you're set. And like I said, try to aim for 250 speed on your champions. Ninja was slightly less, 246. But I want Ninja to go after Seer. So turn order should be Arbiter, Lydia, Mithrala, Seer, and then Ninja. That should be your turn order. You want them around 250 to 300 speed in that range. And then Arbiter can be as fast as she wants, basically to boost turn meter and then revive your team when they get in trouble. So overall, I think this team is actually super insane. As a pretty much a free-to-play team, full auto, and super consistent. Overall gear quality is going to be kind of high, but obviously Mithrala's aura is going to help a lot. Her aura is going to help quite a bit here. I'm going to do it one more time, one more time for you guys, so you know that it's not like a scam or something. I did test this pretty extensively. Like I said, I fully ran this team for how many runs? I don't know, probably 40-50 runs by now, and I've yet to see it fail, at least with this gear setup and everything. I think I didn't show you guys the presets yet, so I'll show you guys the presets just before we end the video here. Show you guys this run as well. His Berserk doesn't really matter. Berserk doesn't really matter. It's not a totally crippling debuff. The worst thing that even if Mithrala was stunned and stripped and everything, I don't think that would be a huge issue for this team to recover, especially when Odin's by himself. It might slow down the run, that's for sure, but it won't really do too. There you go, decreased duration, nice. HP burns, landing. But yeah, guys, we're talking stage 30 here in this event dungeon. It's going to be difficult, right? These are, accessible champions. The gear is obviously good, it's progressed. You're not going to be able to do this with, KO and Apothecary, so I'm sorry, guys. But, check out, obviously Dungeon 20, for example, would be a good break point for probably mid-game accounts to try to tackle. You still get the 5 and 6 star gear, of course. Oh, a pinpoint banner. Holy cow. Holy cow, this is actually a good one. This is like the one good drop. Legendary 6-star pinpoint banner with HP percentage and speed. GG. GG. Wish I can keep it. Unfortunately, it's on the test server. So let's go with the setup here real quick. I think I showed it, right? Mithrala opens with A1. Ninja prioritized the A2. Arbor just doing whatever. Lydia prioritizing the A2. And then Seer prioritizing the HP Karma Burn. So like I said, guys, you want the strip to be prioritized. Otherwise, she will do this to set up this. So you want this prioritized, okay? Yeah, show you guys stats, so no funny business going on here, and what I was showing you earlier. And yeah, anyways, guys, hopefully that shows you guys everything about this team. This is a great team. If you guys don't have Ninja, use Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong is also, like, he's going to be slower damage, but he brings extra insurance with the strip and block buffs as well. You can give him Brimstone as well, so he can kind of replace Ninja in that case. But Ninja's HP burn is great damage against solo bosses. Seer, unfortunately, I can't see a replacement for her unless you want to change the whole team. Yeah, the fact that she can kill all the ads in one hit makes this a lot more viable strategy. So, anyways, guys, hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it gives you guys some ideas and assurance that this is a doable dungeon. And yeah, we'll probably see some more optimized teams, but so far I like this team. It's less than 90 seconds. It's 100%, and I like that. Free to play, of course. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Catch you guys in the next video.